California love. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Okay. Oh, yes. Hello. This is Ray with Get a Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul to hopefully inspire you on your journey, or at the very least, provide you with some laughs. And so let's get real about the fact that I am wrapping up my third house sit, but the second house sit person. I'm in California and I've house sat for this person twice now. Basically, they had a trip, and then instead of me having to go home, they're like, you can just kind of hang out because they had another trip planned. So I am at this beautiful home in the Bay Area. I'm originally from the Bay Area, so I'm loving this weather right now. You have no idea. Like, the minute I stepped off the plane, I was like, oxygen. Oh my goodness. I love this so much. And, you know, there is some beautiful nature in New York. There's some beautiful nature in Indiana. I also went through New Jersey, and I've lived in Connecticut, right? There's beautiful nature in all these places, but there's something about California that I'm just like, yo, you can't match this. I don't know what it is. There's something about Hawaii too, where you're like, can't quite match this. So anyway, I really did enjoy my time in New Jersey. But this time in California has just been truly nurturing, walking amongst redwood trees and eucalyptus trees. It was interesting because, I've been making friends at all these house sits, which is super cool. But it was really interesting because as I was walking this dog, which I'll show you a video of in a bit, with the friend of the woman I'm house sitting for, this woman is also the person who set me up with this house sit because I'm going to be doing house sitting for her in a couple of weeks. We were walking the dogs in the park, and she said to me, you know, during the pandemic, she wonders if she and 3 of her friends did not get COVID because they were taking daily walks amongst the eucalyptus trees. And that just never even occurred to me, oh, whoa, because eucalyptus is used in a lot of medicine. And so maybe the healing powers of just being surrounded by all these eucalyptus trees. Like when you walk through this park, you just inhale. You're like, woo, that was like a breath mint or a cold drop, a cough drop. That's what it is. It's a cough drop. Like, it's just like your lungs, you just feel it. It's like, oh, this is amazing. And so anyway, I just liked that idea. And I just felt like, wow, I wonder if during this really horrible time that the whole world went through, if people who were able to spend more time amongst the healing powers of nature were able to not find themselves ill or severely ill. And then I was just like in my brain going, oh man, I wish we could have just taken everybody who was ill and just put them through these eucalyptus trees and the healing powers of California. So I know, is that a little weird of me? Probably, but that's okay because this is real and I'm real and this is the realist of me. And that's how I am because I'm just a little weird. So anyway, this house sitting thing, I'm liking it so far. So I went into house sitting not because I was like, yes, I want to go watch other people's homes, but it was because I had to get out of my current living situation. The place was filled with mold. The floor was sinking. I was feeling sick. I had this cough that kind of wouldn't really go away when I was sleeping in my bedroom because the floor was dipped. My breathing was messed up because my head was well below my feet. And it was bad. It was just hard to breathe sometimes. It was just really bad. And part of me is frustrated that I couldn't get a doctor's appointment soon enough to get that medical proof that this house was causing me to be sick. You know, you think about these horror movies and how there's a demonic presence in the house. The house is making you sick. And I was watching this movie the other day where the lady was saying, this house is making my children sick. And that sounds so ridiculous, but that mold The growth of that mold was straight up ridiculous. The fact that I was walking on a slant in my house was straight up ridiculous. So yes, that house was making me sick. Could we call it a demonic possession? Oh, I don't know about that. But it was definitely not good for my health. And so I needed to get out of there. Sales are always low at that time of the year, and I knew money was tight, but I could no longer afford to mentally, physically stay in that house any longer. And I think I just came across this on like just a random Google search. I'm trying to remember, like, did I even think to look up house sitting? I think I did. I think I was just like, maybe I could just watch somebody's pet or something, their house. I don't know. But I am so glad I found this because it has truly changed my life. One of the things that I want to do is to be able to travel more. And I said, by the time I'm a certain age, I want to be able to travel more. I want my business to be stable. I mean, I had all these plans, right? I want to pay off all these bills. And I spent a lot of time listening to financial podcasts when I'm working on my budget, taxes and stuff like that. And so just feeling like day after day, week after week, the money is there and then it's not there, and it's not where I want it to be, where I need it to be, and it's certainly not where it was. And so I'm like, dang, I just constantly feel like I'm bailing water out of the boat. And as soon as the sail is full again and we're setting sail and it seems like there's no more water in the boat, all of a sudden, another wave hits that boat and now there's more water in there, and now I got to get it out of there. I feel like I've plugged up the leaks and holes in the boat, and now it's just this matter of I need calm waters. But we can't go through life always saying I need calm waters. We have to be able to go with the waves, go with the flow. And I thought having a bigger boat would allow me to go with the flow, but that just wound up with too many like problems, like trying to manage too many sails, and just you didn't have the right team on that boat to help steer the boat. So now I'm looking at, instead of having a bigger boat, I'm looking at really understanding and kind of becoming one with the craft that I have, with the boat that I have, and just setting sail with that, and becoming the master of operating that boat. We have this boat analogy. I have never sailed a boat in my life. But I did one of those paddle boats with the foot things and the rowboat. I did that, okay. But yeah, I feel like someday I will be steering a yacht, maybe. So anyway, this house sitting thing, I'm loving it. So what do I love about house sitting? Well, here are a few things that I love about house sitting. So thing I love, number one, no rent. I ain't paying rent. Woo! One of the biggest expenses for people in the United States, at least, is rent. And so with house sitting, I not paying rent. I'm not paying my utility bills. So before, rent plus utilities is about $1,000 a month, right? And that's pretty low in the U.S. And mind you, I was living in a 2-bedroom house by myself, okay? No roommates or anything like that. And I knew I did not want to downgrade. I did not want to go back to having roommates. I didn't want to go and live in a studio in a bigger city or anything like that. And I also knew that I didn't want to risk moving into someplace and having it be another disaster, because in Indiana I'd already lived in 2 properties that were freaking disaster. One with the rats and the mice, and then we got the mold and the sinking floors. So what the F? Like, I feel like that's Indiana's way of saying we don't want you here, right? I'm like, but I liked you, Indiana. I really did. I thought you were gonna be like my new friend, but you aren't my friend, so now I just have to go. So anyway, I am not paying rent and utilities, and that alone saves a lot of money. The dog was just barking at something, I don't know what. Okay, so that alone saves a lot of money, which is wonderful. Now, in an ideal world, that saved money, I would be able to put into savings and invest a portion of it. And then that way, when I'm ready to find a place of my own, I have all this money saved up. But we're not there yet. Why? Because my sales are not where they need to be. And okay, there's an and because I had to get out of the place I was in so quickly, and I used my emergency fund to handle like business emergencies, I was tapped for cash. So instead of taking the money that I would have paid for this month's rent, that money is going towards the bills that I fell behind on last month when I was, renting U-Haul vans and storage units and paying people to get rid of the washing machine because it's like I can't even get it out of the basement myself, and it makes no sense to put it in storage, so let's just have someone haul it away. So it cost me more money to get the F out than it would have to just stay. And by saying, okay, I got to take the money that would have gone to rent and I got to pay for these things to get out, by doing that, I also knowingly, said, okay, I'm going to have to take a pause on these bills. And I realized that in turn is going to hit my credit score. And so that's going to make it really hard for me to find a new rental, with a low credit score, and you're self-employed, and now your income looking kind of shady or whatever. So it's like I need time and I need money. And thankfully, this house sitting has really allowed for me to have that time and have the funds available to start paying off those bills. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And if you are someone who is thinking about maybe getting out there and living an unconventional lifestyle per se, and you kind of strapped for money, or maybe you just don't know where you want to live, definitely think about house sitting. Okay, house sitting love number 2. So I kind of already mentioned this, but the fact that I didn't really know where I wanted to live. Like I said, Indiana, we had problems, right? New York, I love you, but I hate your freaking winters. I freaking hate it. I don't want that snow. It's all yellow after gray and just nah. So I'm not about that. But there are many things I love about New York, and you will see my journey through New York in another video. But in the meantime, California has always had a very special place in my heart, and I definitely always wanted to move back here. But I was also like, I can't afford those rents. So the house that I took in California is actually in the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm very fortunate that the people that I'm house sitting for are very nice, very artsy. Actually, both of members of this couple are artists. So that is really cool, because just everywhere I look at this house, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. It's kind of like things are with purpose, but without purpose. So you may know someone who is artistic who will just randomly make something, be like, that's cool. I think I just want to put it there. And then suddenly it seems like it always belonged there. Or maybe someone not that made something, but someone who found something at a store and be like, oh, that little gnome is cool. I think I'm going to take that gnome and I'm just going to put it here next to the rose bush in the garden. And then it's kind of like, of course there's a gnome next to the rose bush in the garden. Like, what? Why wouldn't there be? Like, why did I think of that, right? So it's been really cool to kind of be able to come back to a place that I love and relax being here without feeling like I have to hustle to make money to afford to live here. Now, interestingly enough, there are people here who are like, oh, would you want to rent a room? But I'm holding off on that right now, partly because that's out of my budget. I'm not trying to pay thousands of dollars to rent. No. And also, I really want to make sure that my next rental is very purposeful and meaningful, and not just a oh my gosh, I need something desperately. And I realized, you know, in the process of making this move, that the last few moves I have made have been, I need something desperately. And we don't always make the best decisions when we do things out of desperation and necessity. I mean, think about when you've been super hungry and you're like, I'm starving, I have to eat something. And so you like grab the first thing you see at the store. It might not be the healthiest thing, but you needed to eat. Like, you couldn't hang in there any longer. That's why people say, like, don't go grocery shopping or when you're hungry. Don't go to the mall after you just got your check, right? Because you've been so deprived of shopping. Oh my goodness, I really wanted to buy some stuff from the mall, and now I just got my check, I'm gonna go blow it, I'm gonna go buy something. But if you hold off, you know, put the check in the bank, already have in mind something that you said that you wanted, and then maybe go to the mall like the next day, right, with not all your money, may have that money like direct deposit, and then have a portion of it go off into your savings account, your investments account, your retirement account, so that way you're not going in with all your money and blowing it. Okay, so anyway, super grateful for being in a beautiful place and not having that stress of how can I afford to live here. Such a lucky ducky right now. Things that I love about house sitting number 3, making friends. Okay, I did not expect this. You know, back when I was house sitting when I was a teen, or I guess I was in college or whatever, it was, you went, and mind you, back in the day, we didn't have these websites where you could like find house sitting and stuff, and just, that was just not a thing. Maybe there was something on Craigslist, like, I don't freaking know. It wasn't a thing. The people I house sat for back when I was a teenager was because either I babysat their kid, and so they were like, oh, we already know you, why don't you just watch our house while we go on vacation? Or somebody else that was a friend said, oh, well, my friend Ray is available, though I'm not, you know, do you want her to do it? So I try to be very respectful, and I do realize that at times I make myself very small. Now, there are times in my life when I make myself very big. Like, I kind of think of, if you are familiar with the actor and artist Billy Porter, he's a very bigger than life personality, and he seems like a really cool person. I don't know, I've never met him, right? But I saw this video of him like walking down a red carpet, and he's like, are you ready for me? And I was like, oh my goodness, Billy, just like, you know, right up there, no holds barred, just, I am here. And there are people that are like that. I don't love that. This is not me saying I don't love Billy Porter. No, I really admire his work. What I'm saying is that I don't love being big all the time. He's probably not big all the time, right? I see a few snippets of his life. But there are some people who present as being very big all the time. And being big doesn't necessarily mean being ghetto or anything like that. I'm not talking about like, oh girl, but da-da-da. Like, no. That's not what I mean by being big. When I am big, and this was more in my wheelhouse when I was younger, earlier in New York, is I just had this, there were certain people I could be around, and I knew that they saw me as someone who was very, I don't know, forceful, powerful. Forceful sounds like the wrong word. Empowered, perhaps. There was something about me that I felt, that I was exuding, that basically said, I am in control of the situation and my surroundings. And yeah, just, I don't know what, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just, I can describe it as being very big, to the point where um, others can feel it. Others can feel like, whoa, she's got confidence or whatever, or whoa, she's so strong. Even though I'm not throwing hands in people's faces or talking really loud or anything like that, it was just like, woo, this presence is huge. And that is not me nowadays. I think part of it might be age, part of it might be exhaustion. Part of it is definitely the last couple of family relationships and romantic relationships were just so draining that I very much went back to being small. And I say went back to because when I was dealing with family before I left California, I very much practiced being small around certain family members. So anyway, the last couple of years, spending so much time with certain people left me spending more time, not neutral, not just happy, middle of the ground, normal person, not big, not this overwhelming presence, but really small. And so when I step into these situations where I'm like, okay, I want to present my best self forward for this house sit and have this person understand that they can trust me, I'm doing so with the intention of I want to appear that I'm trustworthy and confident because I believe I am those things. But I know I'm going to be in your space small. There's no reason to be small in their space. They're not even freaking there. These people are on vacation or what have you. They're not like, I hope that lady's not, sitting on both couches and, eating in the family room. Like, no one's thinking that. They're just like, I hope the lady, takes care of my plants and feeds my cat or whatever. But I just feel very small. I feel like living small. Here's an example. So my ex, he would go into a hotel room and he would want to put something in every drawer. Every drawer in the closet. I may have mentioned this before. He wanted to unpack everything. Even if you were there for one day, he was like, this, I paid for this, is mine. Whereas I was complete opposite. I'm like, I'm here for one day. I ain't taking out everything. I don't want to risk losing something, leaving something. Mind you, he left a shirt. And he was so upset because he'd had that shirt for all these years. And he was so upset that he left this shirt. It was like, oh, and I'm like, well, we can't drive back 5 hours to get this shirt. We'll message the guy. Maybe he can mail it. And the guy never got back to us. And he was like, oh, my shirt. And I'm like, oh, well, you shouldn't have put all your stuff all over the place. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, because I don't want to have to worry about losing stuff and leaving something or anything like that, breaking something, moving something, I just try to keep it small, which is why I'm like 1 cup, 1 plate. So anyway, I find myself and I planned on being small, and the fact that I am making friends with the homeowners, with the neighbors of people, is truly something that I did not expect. And it's allowing me, even though I'm still 1 cup, it's allowing me to not feel small. I don't know, it's a little weird. And really adjust what small looks like, feels like. So I can still be in someone's space and live small in that I'm going to close off the master bedroom because the pet doesn't need to be in there. This is what I figured out. If you are not using all the rooms, and possible, close off the rooms that the pet doesn't need to be in. Because what could happen is that you could have said pet poop or vomit in one of those rooms. This happened to me. And then you're like, oh man, it's my last day. Here is some vomit that I did not know was here. And now I have to clean this up because who would want to come home and be like, I'm sitting, there's vomit on my bed. Oh yes. So, instead of having to do tons of laundry and stuff on the last day, I was like, let me just close this off. So anyway, I can still live small, but not be small. I can still happy, sunshiny me and make friends and have a good time. So that's really cool. So not paying rent has been a true blessing, and having time to explore new places to find where I might want to live without being stressed out about rushing into a decision. It's truly amazing. And making friends and being able to really adjust and find new balance in my own I don't know, my own spirit and my own self. I don't know what to call it, right? But really just being able to make friends and find that balance has been amazing. So that's 3 things I love about the house sitting. Aside from friends with like the people in the house sitting for, I'm going to add on their community, because I am starting to, I recently joined a Facebook group for house sitters, and I'm still like, do I love it? Do I not love it? So there are some things, but like, I don't know about that. Like somebody posted about, oh, this person's house is so dirty. Da, da, da. I'm like, actually, it just looks like it's lived in. It doesn't look dirty to me. It just looks like it doesn't meet your expectation of clean. But honestly, like that place is not dirty. So while some of that stuff is a little weird, there's a lot of like love and support, like, hey, you know, you got your first house sit, great job, or oh, you inspired me to go get my next get a house sit. And so I think that's really cool. I did not expect that, and I learned about that from a friend of mine who drives trucks. So I'm so grateful to her for that. So community, friendship, community, I feel like those are both separate. The friends, I've definitely met people where I'm like, I will know you for life. We can meet up anytime without a house sit, have coffee, have a great time. And the community is just that support of others, where you may not feel like, oh, I know you, and I can, but they're definitely giving you some advice and some tips. So that's a really beautiful thing. Okay. So let's bring it home with a 5th thing that's fabulous about house sitting. Well, okay, if you like pets, then it's a no-brainer, right? Because I miss having a dog, and I had 2 cats for a number of years, and I really wanted another dog, but my last place I couldn't have any pets, so whatever. But I'm like, man, I wouldn't even know what kind of dog to get. I just, like, the first dog you showed me, I'd be like, I'll take that one. It's so cute. I'm like, why is this dog tiring me out? And then I didn't really want to do like a lot of research. So anyway, being in this house sitting situation, I'm having to ask myself, okay, this dog, can I handle it? Is it going to be calm? Is it going to be overly energetic? Like, do I want to hang out with a bigger dog for a couple of weeks, or a smaller dog for a couple of days? And that's been cool. I have fallen in love with both the dogs I've house sat for. I've got a cat sit coming up pretty soon. I don't know if I'm going to fall in love with this cat. I did have another house sit that had 2 cats, and both cats were cool. One of them didn't really want to deal with me. But I am having this opportunity to spend time with pets, which has truly been nurturing. No one slept in my bed since the day I left my husband. So to be on this house sit, to have this dog be like, I'm just going to sleep next to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's someone next to me. This has been pretty cool. The dog is over here doing things, and I'm just like, oh, well, I hope there's not like some crazy person about to come up and stab me, because I watch a lot of horror movies. And this is the thing, when I FaceTime my mom, if it's not like a space she recognizes, she's like, what is that behind you? And I'm like, what? It's just like, I thought somebody was gonna come up and stab you. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? And then I'm freaking out, and I'm like, Mom, it's just a sculpture. And she's like, oh, okay. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, but yes, being able to spend time with pets. Now, if you are not a pet person, you might be like, I don't know about this house sitting thing, but it's all good, because you can look for house sits that don't involve pets, and you could, instead of trying to figure out what pet you might like having in the future, this is a great way to figure out how you can find places that you want to travel to. And I know it took me a little bit to get that out. So this is what I mean. The city I'm in right now, I've never been like, I want to travel to that city. But the state I'm in right now, I said I would love to find a way to get back to that state. And I have. right? So you might be like, oh, I want to do some traveling, but money's kind of tight right now. Okay, so look for that house that does not have any pets if you don't like pets. And, use your credit card. Do you have a credit card that has points? And so you can put your groceries and all your household bills on that credit card that gives you cash back points. And can you use those points to then purchase that flight? Okay, maybe you're just like, girl, I ain't even got the money for a flight. Okay, I hear you. So again, use those points. Look for a house sit that is not far from where you currently live, because that's going to give you some reviews for people to trust you, to know, oh, this is someone that we want to come and watch our house. You can't be like, oh, I want a house sit, have no reviews, no one to say that you were a trustworthy person, no proof, and then be like, why didn't I get the house sit in Hawaii? Blah, 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 blah. Like, come on now, be real, right? So what you can do is go for that house sit that's not far from where you live. Start getting those reviews and trying to figure out, do you feel even comfortable being in someone else's house, right? Because some people get nervous and they're like, oh, yo, I don't want them saying I stole nothing, I broke nothing, I don't want to deal with that, right? If you are concerned that people might not trust you, then having something really close to your home is a great way to start. One thing that I recently did was I downloaded this app that allows for timestamps, and something I'm thinking about doing on my next house sit is to go in and to take photo with the timestamps of each room, so then that way when I leave, no one can be like, oh, did you do this? Did you break that? Did you take, like, no. This is what it looked like. I haven't had any issues. I'm only, like I said, finishing house sit number 3 and 2 for the same person. But it's just something I'm thinking about doing to protect me. Some of the homes So one of the homes I was in, the first day I walked in and met everyone, I was like, oh my gosh, there's money and jewelry, like, just straight up on the counter. This is crazy. They don't know me from, random person at a bus stop. But those things weren't there the next morning. But I was thinking, like, I hope they took them, because I don't want nobody to accuse me. And they were fine. I was just freaking out. But that's what, sometimes I take a pause, because I'm like, I am a stranger. I am a woman of color. And I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, accuse me of anything. So I do like to be a little extra safe. Not to say that you have to be extra safe. Now, the house sitting platform that I'm using, they do background checks, and so that also helps people feel like, okay, this person is going to be trustworthy because there's a background check that's done, so they're not going to come in and, like, steal all my stuff. And then I do a FaceTime call with people so that I also get a feel of, okay, what kind of person am I dealing with? Does it seem like a cool person I can get along with, or does it seem like a uptight, crazy person that's going to have, like, wackadoodle demands? Because those people, if on a FaceTime call I can already tell you're going to be high maintenance, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for me to house sit for you for a couple days or a couple of weeks or a couple months, because you're going to just annoy the F out of me. So what's the point? So I'm not trying to stress myself out anymore. I've had enough stress the last few years, the last few months. I ain't having it. So anyway, setting myself up to really feel like I can trust these people, they can trust me, and there's no problem. So yeah, you can do it. If you want to, you can do it. I thought about doing van life and all that stuff. And I was like, I ain't got the money for a van. And yeah, they say, oh, you can get one and renovate it. I ain't got the money to do all that. And I think I'm pretty handy. With a drill, power tools. But I mean, I don't really have to worry about insulation and condensation and temperature control. The times I've camped out in my car where sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden the temperature drops and I'm freezing and my legs are going numb and I'm freaking out. Like, am I going to be able to drive to my location because my feet are numb and I'm worried that they won't work in a few hours, or waking up and just drenched in sweat because of the trapped heat inside the vehicle. Even though the windows are cracked, I'm just sweating and I want to open the windows more, but if I do, then people are going to know that there's someone in this car, and I'm worried I'm going to be raped and stabbed. You see where everything goes back to being stabbed. So I just didn't feel like, as a single person, a single person with limited financial resources and a self-employed, okay, so I need strong internet for my job. I cannot be running out here dealing with dishes and, Starlink's down really slow right now. I can't deal with that. So this house-sitting thing, not only am I not paying my rent, I'm not paying rent, I'm not paying utilities, but I'm not paying for the internet. I'm specifically looking for homes that are set up for remote workers. You have to have high-speed internet. If you're in the country, that's fine, but do you have high-speed internet? And if in their profile it says that they work from home also, I'm like, okay, you understand my world, okay? So if you're thinking of trying house sitting and you're just like, I don't like pets, you can still do it. If you are a remote worker, it's great. If you're not a remote worker, but you do have the ability to have certain days off, or even a weekend. A lot of times there are people who just need to get away for the weekend, friend's wedding or something like that, and it's really hard for them to find somebody to watch their dog or cat because the family member don't want to do. Like, look, you gone one night, I'll feed your cat, but you gone 3 nights, I ain't feeding your cat. So if you have a weekend, your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's a really good way to kind of dip your toe in and be like, am I okay with this? And then when you have that money to buy that flight or even the long drive, you will feel more comfortable because you've already had a few house sits done. You've gotten a flow of what you're looking for from homeowners and what to expect. And yeah, it's not the easiest when you are working a job that needs you in the office, regular times and all that stuff, but it still can be done. You probably can find a house sit within 30 minutes of your regular work commute. Or, if you're like, well, I don't live in the best neighborhood, then look for the best neighborhood. And maybe that means an hour commute to work. But if it means that you get to chill in some really nice house and use their pool or their hot tub, okay, because they will let you do that. They stripper pole, whatever it is that they got in their house. So you're like, oh, okay, I can use that. All right. And if it makes you feel good for that week, right? So you commute an hour one way for a week because you're staying in this home that makes you say to yourself, you know what? I do want to step up my game. This is how I want to live. Or, you know what? This is nice for now. Yeah. Some of these homes I'm looking at like, I need to step up my game. Absolutely. This is what I want to aspire to. Some of these I'm like, no, this is nice for now. Or I've always wondered what a person in this career would live like. I always wonder what someone who's retired, what they might do with their home and space. So anyway, you want to do it. I definitely find it way more accessible than some of the other non-conventional lifestyle choices. And yeah, it's not like being a travel influencer and all that stuff. You ain't got to pay for a bunch of flights. You can literally just hop in your car, hop on a bus, be good to go. Some of these house sits will let you use their car. I had talked to a lady the other day. She's like, well, if you need to, you can use our car or my husband's other car. And I'm like, I'm good. I'll use my car. I'm good if your dog gets sand in my car. Because I'm thinking, lady, I don't want to crash your car, your husband's car, your neighbor's car. I don't want nobody talking to me about, I got to scratch. No. Your dog can have all the sand up in my car all day long and it's good. Because my car is not precious. I'm not driving no Tesla. I ain't driving a BMW. My car it runs and it's going to keep running, hopefully for another couple of years. I got it secondhand and it can have the extra hand to keep running. because I ain't trying to be precious about this car. So if it means I ain't got to stress about messing up your vehicle, cool. But there are houses that will be like, yeah, use my car. And there are houses where they have the house cleaner come over, the gardener come over. All you gotta do is take in the mail, maybe water a few plants. So some of them don't even need you to water plants. I'm just saying, you want to do it, do it. So anyway, those are 5 amazing things I love about house sitting. And this shirt that I'm wearing, I'm kind of sweating in the sun right now, but this shirt, it was given to me for free by the friend of the lady I'm house sitting for, because she's like, oh, I got this shirt and it doesn't fit me, so maybe it'll fit you. I was like, thanks. And I was like, nah, you don't really have to. She's like, just try. I'm like, oh, okay. And now I'm like, oh, I'm so glad she gave me this shirt, because my other shirt was way too hot for that. So here I am, no rent. They left me snacks, people. Sometimes they leave you food. I'm like, ooh. So, no rent. They left some food for me, and I got a free shirt. Am I complaining? No. Okay, so let me make sure I show you a video of this doll, because it is so cute. And until next time, peace.